guys, welcome back to Till Vacuum Do Us Part. If this is your first time joining my channel, I'm Ashley and this is my husband Chase.
Hey guys.
A lot of my subscribers have been asking for a finance video and how I became a stay-at-home mom and how we live off one income. So if that's something you want to see, then just stay tuned. Okay, the way that we were able to make it possible for me to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom and live off one income was doing the Dave Ramsey plan. So we're going to talk about baby steps 1, 2, and 3 so you can kind of understand what we've been doing and how it works. So I'm going to let Chase take over because this is more his area and let him talk to you.
Yeah, so we've followed the Dave Ramsey plan, like Ashley said, which includes 7 baby steps that he goes by. We're going to talk about the first 3 because those are the main ones. You know, people spend the most time in those 3 steps. They're the hardest to get through. So we're gonna focus on those because that is where, you know, that's how we got to where we are right now. So baby step 1 is save $1,000, and this should be really quick. It should be really, you know, easy for most people to come up with, you know, different things to do, cut expenses, you know, earn extra income. Baby step 2, that is pay off debt using the debt snowball method. So what the debt snowball method is, just real quick, is if you basically you're paying off the lowest loan balance first. So if you had a $5,000 loan and a $1,000 loan, you're going to attack that $1,000 loan with all the money you've got. You're not going to worry about interest rates in this part. You don't care if one's 10%, one's 0%. You're not trying to mathematically figure all this out. So just keep it simple. Don't complicate it. You're going to pay the lowest balance first. Once you pay off that small loan, then you're going to apply all those payments you were doing towards that, towards the next loan, the next biggest one. Throw everything at that and just do minimum payments on all the other ones until you pay that one off, and then it just keeps basically a snowball effect, and that's why it's called the debt snowball. Step 3 is save 3 to 6 months in your emergency fund. You definitely want to have an emergency fund built up. Dave Ramsey says 3 to 6 months, and that's what we've, you know, gone by. Depending on your situation, you know, if you're a 1-income family, it may be good to have 4 or 5 months, maybe, you know, 6 months emergency fund, because if one of you loses your job, then that's all your income. You know, then, you know, he gives the example of maybe like a 2-income family and you both have really safe jobs, you're not commission based, then you may be able to get away with 3 months. So it's different for everybody, whatever you're comfortable with.
And there's seasons where you will like love Dave Ramsey, and that's more when you get out of the baby steps and you praise him and you're so thankful, and there's a reason he is where he is, and we encourage you guys to like go find him on YouTube. I can link his channel below, read his books. I mean, he is an amazing guy. He's feisty, so be ready for it.
That's what we like about him.
There's seasons where you're gonna curse the Dave Ramsey name in your household because it is hard. Nobody says, we are not sitting here saying this is gonna be easy and this is gonna be fun and it's just gonna be the best time of your life. It's not. It is hard work, but it is so worth it.
It is so worth it
when you're done.
And if you're married, you both definitely need to be on the same page to make it successful. If only one of you is and the other's not,
it's not gonna work.
It's probably not gonna work for you. You both have to be on the same page, be intense, and it'll go by much quicker than you think. You'll be surprised how much you can you know, throw into savings, how much you can throw at debt whenever you do these methods, for sure.
And during this whole process, we were still tithing our 10% to the church. Okay, now we're gonna talk to you about things we cut out during the time that we were paying off debt, and I have my spiral. We've been trying to like jot it down as we go because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Okay, so number 1 thing to cut is cable. Cut your cable bill. Oh my gosh, you don't need it. During the time that we did it, we didn't even have Netflix or Sling. Now we've added on those. But if you want to be hardcore and just like get the ball rolling, get it paid off, you can go back to cable. Like, we're not saying you can never go back to these things, but get it cut and move on.
Netflix we've had pretty much since the beginning of marriage, and that's $10 a month. We just added Sling recently within the last 2 years, and that's only $20 a month. No
Look
DVR.
into that.
I know it stinks not having DVR, but hey, we don't care. It saves us $150 a month.
Well, and it actually has that feature now. It's like $5 more a month.
Well, there you go.
Check out Sling if you guys like feel like you have to have cable, because there's like home shows or sports, but it's $20 a month.
And YouTube, that's another alternative.
YouTube, oh my gosh, if you guys are like for real, cut everything and just watch me.
There's plenty of entertainment on YouTube to watch.
Dave Ramsey's on there. I'll just turn him on during the day, even like if I'm not sitting, just because I like hearing him. He is so feisty.
Yeah.
He'll keep you like burning and on fire to keep it going. Like even though we're out of debt, like I listen to him and I'm like, oh my gosh, what else can we do? Like he gets you so fired up and intense.
Exactly.
I didn't cut my hair, but I cut out my hair. I had blonde, beautiful locks when we got married and when we were dating. I probably started doing that like, I don't know, like 6th or 7th grade. And once we started paying off debt, which was at the very beginning of our marriage, I just dyed my hair and it was $3.
Yep.
If I were to go get my hair blonde, it would be like $100 every 6 weeks. And I do this every 3 or 4 months for $3. So I can't even go back to it. We're paid out of debt and I just can't even bring myself to do it. Maybe one day, but not today. My nails was a big thing. I've wore acrylic nails since 3rd grade. My mom and dad always let me get my nails done every 2 weeks. And so I stopped that.
That was a big sacrifice.
Makeup, I always wore Lancome, nice makeup, fancy smancy, and now I wear drugstore. And guys, we're out of debt and I'm still doing this. So it kind of changes the way you look at things and the way you handle your finances. We cut out going to the movies.
Yep.
I don't drink coffee, so it's not really a sacrifice, but he doesn't just go pick up coffee in the mornings. He will if he has gift cards. So around Christmas time, all he opens up are like Starbucks gift cards because that's the only time.
That's a big splurge.
People are like, no, what else can we get him? And I'm like, that's really what he wants. He lowered our bills. So if you're staying at home, you have time to sit there and call all these fun bills and get them lowered. And if you talk to them long enough, you will get them down. Insurance is probably the biggest one. Internet's another one that I do yearly. So I can always get it down for around 12 months. Sometimes I have to sign a contract for those 12 months, but I do it.
Yeah.
Once it goes back up, I start calling again.
Every year, Ashley's able to get it down. It goes up $10 on the internet, she gets it down $10.
Yeah.
A lot of times we can even get a faster internet for the same price. She just
Yeah.
has to call. It's not fun calling AT&T, but it does save
They
you money
will
for sure.
work with you.
And then,
So-
like she said, insurance, home insurance, car insurance. Don't cut it out. You have to keep it. You got to be insured.
Yes.
But you can, I've talked with people, and they may be paying double the amount of car rate or home rate in premiums that we are, because we have researched all the different companies, what their rates are. We bundle our home and auto right now. That saves a lot of money by doing that. So we have worked really hard, every year to make sure that our deductibles in the right spot, liabilities in the right spot, to be able to lower those premiums, and we don't have to pay a ton for that.
Well, and check that yearly, because just because we're getting the best deal this year doesn't mean that our company is going to offer that the next year. So always look into it. That means staying on top of things. But if you're watching this because you want to be a stay-at-home mom, you will have time to sit there and make those phone calls during nap time or playtime, whatever. Just take time, and it's work. Like, nobody said staying at home mom is easy. Now there's some rich women that it's easy and they have nannies, but if you're watching this video, it's probably because you aren't loaded with money, and we aren't. We've never made huge amounts of money, and we were able to provide a beautiful house and beautiful things in it. That kind of gets me to the last step, is we stopped buying things new.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted new chairs, I had to find them at a garage sale or thrift market or flea market, whatever you have to do. Like these chairs, I got at a garage sale yesterday for $25 each. They're $50. And they're beautiful. They're my dream chairs. They're probably between $2 and $2.50 if you look them up new. And I had already had chairs, and so I took those chairs and sold them for $60. So I made $10. I upgraded my chairs and made money, and that's how I furnished my entire home. I just keep knocking it up a little bit every time, replacing
Exactly.
and upgrading. We don't have car payments.
Yeah, no car payments. So
We both, how old's my car?
yours is 10 years old.
And yours is?
Mine's 12 years old.
So
Yeah, we don't drive new cars.
We don't drive new cars, but I get to stay at home with my baby girl and homeschool her, so I don't care. And I love my car. It's just
Yep.
fine, and that makes insurance even cheaper because it's not brand new.
Exactly.
So it's like a win-win. You do not need to be driving around a brand new car.
Right. You
If
can find
want
cheap,
to,
reliable
yeah.
cars. I know a lot of people say, one of the myths with Dave Ramsey is always buy the cheapest car. And that's, you want to buy a cheap car, but his thing is you want to buy a cheap, reliable car. And there's lots of reliable, cheap cars out there. That's what we've bought. And we've barely had to do any maintenance to them other than the normal, air filters, oil changes, that type of thing. So you can find cheap, reliable cars and pay cash for it. That's what we do, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay, now we're going to talk about ways we created income. So if you want to speed up the ball even more on getting that debt paid off, you know, we first talked about cutting as many bills as you can and getting them lowered. Now the next way is to create income. And I don't know if you want to talk about this. The first thing we did was found and sold golf balls.
Yes, yeah, this is going to be fun. You guys are going to want to listen to this because we try to remember everything that we've done over the last 10 years to make extra income, and these are pretty hilarious. So we used to go. We lived close to a golf course
Before Savannah.
This was before Savannah, so we had some extra time outside of working part-time and going to college, you know, night classes and stuff. So it'd be like a Sunday night, and we're like, hey, should we go on a date night? And instead I'm like, well, it's Sunday. And it was a beautiful day. I know tons of golfers were at the course, and I bet you there's a ton of lost balls in the woods. So why don't we go out there and make find some golf balls and sell them on eBay and make some money? And we found that we could make a ton of money doing this. We would just put on our pants, our long sleeves, and we would go out there with plastic Walmart sacks, and we would find hundreds of golf balls together out there. And it doesn't sound fun, but I mean, it was a way to make extra income.
And it was bonding. Like, I had to trust him because he had me like jumping creeks. Guys, I'm a girly girl. Like, I don't jump creeks.
Yeah.
Or like walk on limbs across areas.
Or we were maneuvering around cows too, like in the pasture. So I mean, it was a lot of work.
Bonding.
It was bonding. But
it was great for our marriage, and it was great for paying off debt.
Exactly.
So we would get them home, and we were in a tiny apartment, and it was one sink. It wasn't even like split up. So I would just basically give them a bubble bath, and I would scrub with these brushes. And like we had a system, and then we'd put them on the towel, dry them, and then he would take pictures and list them. And we made some decent
You can make really good money when there's no cost other than
So,
time. That was the only cost we had.
Is that like illegal though? Should we be?
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure you're not.
Might not want to trespass on the golf course, or at least get caught doing it, because we never got caught. But
disclaimer.
that was just one way.
We sold textbooks.
Yeah, I would buy used college textbooks off Craigslist. People would list them on Craigslist. I'd offer them a cash amount, but then I would sell them on a website that would offer me double the money for them.
We had garage sales. So you guys always love my house. I'm like, I need to declutter. You can like declutter and get your home clean and pay off debt, like all in the same swoop. Like, it's a win-win. If you don't use it, if you don't love it, if you don't need it, if it doesn't bring you joy, price it, sell it, get it gone, clear up your space in your home and pay down that debt. Like, do it. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
What else? We've sold coins.
Yeah, I've sold cash for more cash on eBay before. I know it sounds weird, but I used to be a teller part-time, so I'd see coins coming in all the time. Well, whenever the state quarters first came out, I would buy uncirculated rolls of every set of quarter. So like when the first 5 came out, I would just take out one coin from every roll and piece those 5 together as a set, and I'd sell them on eBay for $15 each. People love collecting, but they didn't know how. They didn't want to go out to the banks. They maybe didn't have access to them, so they would buy from me online. So I'd sell $1.25 worth of quarters for $15.
We flip furniture, so I'll go to those garage sales, and early bird gets the worm. Like, if you're not there first, I'm going to be there buying it. If you want like good solid wood furniture, I would go up and pick up a piece for $5, come home and paint the thing white, and sometimes add new hardware and sell it for $40, $50, even $100.
Exactly.
It's just taking the time and cleaning it up, but you have to be there first. Those pieces go quick.
I think it was just 2 years ago, within a course of 2 days, we bought 9 wood end tables or nightstands. I mean, we found like 5 at a garage sale. The next day after work, I picked up 3 or more off of Craigslist. And so we had 9 in our garage, and she repainted them all. And I think we made $500 profit in 2 days right off of that, just by repainting them.
A lot of you have been asking me how I do it, and I'm definitely going to film a video for you guys, but it's just now garage season and just now warming up. But when I find a good piece and it's warm enough to paint it outside, I'm going to make a video for you on that. And also, while we're talking about garage sales, I just made a video or posted it on how to have a garage sale as successful. I'll link it up here and down in the description box, so check that as well. We mowed yards together.
Yep, we mowed
yards.
Mow,
and
I would do the weed eating, the edging, the blowing.
We did the books for a family business.
Yep.
We hung Christmas lights. We dog sat. We house sat. I cleaned houses. Like, you name it, we've done it. If we needed to bring in income that month, we just did it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've just always found a way, and I'm glad we're past that point in our life.
Exactly.
But it was also, it's fun to look back on. We did it together. It probably really helped our marriage. It made us strong. So let's just kind of recap. The way that I became a stay-at-home mom was we cut out debt. we knew if I wasn't going to be bringing in income, we needed as few bills as possible, and we still live that way today. So just cut out the debt. Do what you can to bring in money that's possible. If that's just working a few hours a week when your husband's home, if it's doing silly odd jobs, like if you can create extra money, do it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to sacrifice. Like being a stay-at-home mom isn't easy, and you're just gonna have to learn to live without. And
yeah, for Ashley, it was, giving up the blonde hair, the nails, tanning back in the day. Those were huge sacrifices for her. But our goal from the very beginning was for her to be a stay-at-home mom.
And it is always worth it.
Because we knew we could not. Ashley would have to work full time with full-time job if we had payments on the cars, on the furniture, on credit card debt. If we had those payments, Ashley could not stay at home. So that's how we stay focused on, if we want her to be a stay-at-home mom, we cannot have any payments, because then we could not afford it. We've done the math. It wouldn't work.
You have to decide what your goals are and what you're willing to sacrifice. Like I hear so many people say, oh, I could never be a stay-at-home mom. You can, but you and your husband are going to have to be on the same page and willing to sacrifice. Like if your husband's not willing to give up cable and new cars and all that, you may not. But if you guys can come sit down, have a meeting and say, what do we want? What do we want to show our kids? What is it worth? Like, I didn't want to show her an ambitious working woman that was never around. And that may be your goal, and that's great. And that's and my daughter has those women in her life, but it wasn't me. I wanted to be here. I wanted to teach her morals and goals and strength. And so I'll give up anything to stay at home with her. So you guys just have to figure out what you want and find a way to make it happen.
Yep, just a lot of sacrifice.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the question and answer. I asked you guys over on Instagram, so if you guys aren't following me, I'll put the link in my description box, so head over there because you guys kind of help me plan my videos and what I'm gonna be making and the questions I'm gonna be answering. So the first question was it worth it? We kind of just addressed that in our last conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Doesn't matter what I gave up, my hair, nails, whatever, totally worth it. How to get started? Save your $1,000 and then start paying. Just do it. Sit down with your spouse, or if you're single, just do it. Just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 3 is FPU, Financial Peace University, the only way? No. But I think it's the simplest way.
Yeah, it's the simplest.
It's not easy, but it's simple.
And FPU is Financial Peace University, and it's Dave Ramsey's plan, for those of you that don't know that. But it is just those baby steps, the 7 baby steps. It's that method. And it's not the only way, but it is definitely a proven way. It's the simplest way. It's not overly complicated, so don't try to overcomplicate it. It is simple, but it is difficult. That is what he always says. It's a simple method, but it's difficult because you have to be you got to be intense, and you got to be focused. And if you're married, you both have to be on the same page.
Go watch his channel and he'll get you fired up. There's also classes you can take. A lot of churches host them. We've done it through our church. There's probably churches near you, and you can probably look up where you can go. Do you know how many weeks it is?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's but so many weeks. I think you can even do it online, but definitely check that out if you're wanting to do the method we did. Can anyone do it? I had somebody ask, does my husband make enough? Can we do it? Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's just back to sacrificing. What are you willing to give up and sacrifice to make it happen? And it may not be something that you can start today. Like, you may not be able to walk in and be like, I quit. But get started on a plan. Say, in 1 year, I'm going to quit my job, or in 2 years, and work your heinies off to get to that point so that you can. Do we feel financially stable?
Yes, definitely, and only because of this plan that we've done. Yeah. Otherwise, no, we would not be. But since we've done the baby steps and we are out of debt and we have an emergency fund, yes, we feel definitely financially stable for sure.
Our monthly expenses are pretty small, so we could make it fine. So you know what I mean?
So that's one of the goals, is to get in that position.
Could we afford an emergency?
Yes. Yep. And exactly. If an emergency came up, we could afford it, and that's the whole point of the plan. You want to get to that position where if an emergency comes up, you would be able to handle it and not have to go into hospital bill debt, credit card debt, just to support that emergency. That's
if the car breaks down, it may stink to have to spend our money, but we have it saved for. Do we use an app? So a lot of people were asking like how we log it. We're super old school. We do just Excel.
Yeah,
Chase just created one.
Yeah, we do a budget in Excel. We don't really use any apps to help us out or anything. We've tried mint.com before, but it's just, that's too hard to stick with. It's not, I don't like it. It messes up quite a bit. So we just keep it simple. We keep track of it ourselves by just checking out our bank account and doing an Excel spreadsheet to log everything.
What baby step are we on?
We're on 4, really.
We want a bigger emergency save. Basically, right now, we want to start saving for our next car because we don't want to have to pay cash for it and we don't want to use our emergency fund. So we're working on retirement and saving. Not that we need a car yet, but we're planning for it. So if the car breaks down or something, we already have it ready to go and it's not like, oh my gosh, we have to get a loan to buy a car. You have to pre-plan things with finance. If you don't want to end up back in debt, then you have to start planning for the future. So as far as like where we at, it's kind of hard to say because we've kind of modified the steps to what fits us best. Not that that's the best goal, and I don't know, we just...
Well, we've been doing, we've been saving for retirement along the way.
The whole time.
Where technically you're not supposed to until step 4. Once you get these first 3 knocked out, then you start retirement. So we've kind of done a modified of where we save for retirement just to get that match, in the 401k at the same time of doing the rest.
And we did that because we didn't have a lot of debt to pay off. And we paid it off quickly, so we were able to kind of fund our... retirement and all along the way. So ours is a little bit different. If you have a lot of debt that you're trying to pay off, follow it to a T, but ours was just a little bit modified because we didn't have that starting off.
We could afford to do the retirement savings at the time.
So people asked about our fund money. So his fund money is to save.
Yeah.
He wants to save. That's what he wants to do. So the only actual fund money is mine, and over the last couple years, I just take about $100 a month, and I know that may be a lot to some people, that may be nothing to compare it to others, but with the way I shop, I can make it stretch, and it's just worked. If I ever want something big, we talk about it, and we can make that purchase, but as far as just my money, I don't have to ask what to do with it, how to spend it. It's probably majority food.
Yeah, food.
Some stuff for Savannah. It's probably not all that much for me anymore, but that is my fun money that I do. Do we use the envelope system? Yes.
Yeah.
I literally have a pile of white envelopes and they're looking hideous because I use the same ones every year, so I know what we need to be saving for. So
yeah, and so Ramsey's all about cash and using this envelope system because it's just psychologically it's harder to spend cash than it is swiping a card. You're going to spend more swiping a card than you will if you see cash going out of your pocket.
Well, when it's empty, it's empty.
Yeah.
So like when we have our grocery money, the last week of the month is normally hard because if I wasn't good budgeting the first 3 weeks, then I'm like, okay, we have to get groceries off this amount.
Exactly.
So food, our miscellaneous we do with cash, any holidays like Christmas, Easter gifts, birthdays if they're big ones. Back when we weren't making near as much, I even had to save for Savannah's dance class so that we know we'd have it. Now that's in our monthly budget and we're able to cover it because we're out of debt.
Yep. Car tags was the same way. We have an envelope for car tags. We pull out cash, and put that in the envelope.
We probably have about 15 envelopes, and as the money comes in, we just fill it. And it takes so much fighting and stress away because I can look at it and be like, wow, everything's covered for the next 3 months. Like, yeah, we have a car tag coming up, but it's saved for. So do that with your garage sale money. Once your debt's paid off or even during it, start piling away in those envelopes. Just sell something. I've sold so many things just to make it during the month because we had a bill. I'd be like, okay, what can I sell? And so you guys wonder why my house is so clean and empty. It's because we had to pay
bills. You got to keep it minimal.
I'm like, less is more.
Yeah.
So it just kind of worked out and fell that way. Do we do credit cards? This is where we're kind of modified from Dave Ramsey as well.
Yeah. This is a tricky one. Dave Ramsey's method: no credit cards. Do not
cut
use
them up,
them.
freeze them, whatever.
Exactly. With us, we have had 2 credit cards. We never have a balance on them. As soon as we put something on it, like we buy it off Amazon, we have the cash in our bank account, and I have an app for our credit card. I literally will pay it immediately after we make the purchase out of our bank account. So we have it for the convenience and the perks of the rewards, but rewards, if you ask any millionaire, rewards did not make them rich. Right. They did not say, my credit card rewards are what made me rich and a millionaire today, or my airline miles. So it's not an income.
This is based on you. If you know you can't handle it, if you know you're going to put money on, you're going to buy something knowing you don't have the money, don't do it.
You have to have self-control to have credit cards.
Exactly. So but if you know you can handle it and you're out of debt, like we're out of debt we know we never put something on the credit card that we don't already have the money saved for. It's we already have it. We're just trying to get the reward, or it's easier with like hotels or renting cars, which we don't do that very often.
Like I said, it's a perk. It's not an income. You're not going to get rich doing it. No. And if we ever, leave a balance on the card for whatever reason at the end of the month, or we can't immediately pay it the next day because we made an impulse purchase on the credit card, that is when we are getting rid of them. Okay. But with 10 years, we have never once had that problem, just with how our personalities are with the credit card. I don't recommend it unless you have really good self-control.
Yeah, just be very careful with those. Do I sell items I get rid of, and how? Yes. Garage sales, marketplace on Facebook, Craigslist. And how? Stage your items, people. Don't have it outside or in an ugly background or with clutter. Like, find the prettiest area in your house with natural light and stage that puppy. If it's a chair, add a beautiful throw and a pillow and make sure the background's pretty, and it will sell so fast. What's our biggest goal? Probably to pay off the house.
Yeah, probably to pay off the house would be our biggest goal, because that is our only debt. We mentioned earlier we're debt free. It's debt free other than the home.
Our grocery budget, basically right now, I was doing it once a week, and I've cut back to twice a week now we go, and it's helped save money.
Or twice a month.
Oh, sorry, twice a month. Yeah, so we just go twice a month. But test it out. Like, figure out if you go once a week, so 4 times a month, you may save more money that way, or go once a month, or just try. You're gonna have to try things out and figure what works best for your family and what saves you money, because it really does make a difference. How do you fight the urge to shop? I hate debt. I don't want debt. If we're gonna fight, I don't want it to be over money. I don't want to have to go back to work because I have a credit card bill of stuff that I probably don't love in my house. Figure out your goals and your dreams, and never buy something to impress somebody else that you don't even know. Like, figure out what your family wants and what's your mission, and it may look different. And guys, you may lose friends along the way in this journey, and we have. When you start saying no to things and you start doing things that serve your family best, it kind of puts a hiccup in relationships, but you will also find relationships that you didn't know you have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I just think, like, whenever I think about shopping, like, especially for cars or something, a lot of people I know, are driving nice cars, but that, Ramsey would call it $1 million car. You're making a $400 payment a month on this car, and it ends up, if you were to invest that $400 over 40 years in mutual funds, you would retire a millionaire off of that car right there. So that's what I look at, and I think, do I want to have a nice car that I can't really afford right now to impress people that I don't even like, or do I want to have millions of dollars in my 401k at the end of life and be able to retire early and get to vacation, do whatever we want, or do I want that car? So that's what it comes down to.
Your true friends are people that love you no matter what you drive, no matter. My true friends are the ones that sit out on back porch with wine. They drink wine, I drink my peach tea, and we just talk. It's not about going to dinner, what we're gonna provide, what we're gonna cook for them, what they're gonna cook for us, what activities we're gonna do, what movies. Yep. It's about life, and that we can just sit on a back patio and drink whatever our choice of drink is, and just hang out and enjoy each other's company. And that's so much more. So it's gonna be a struggle. Yep. When you start paying off debt, there's highs and there's lows, but I encourage you to do it. It is so worth it in the end. Okay, so we're gonna end that here. I hope this isn't terribly long. Sorry for the emotion at the end. Yeah. I kind of got caught up in it. We love you guys so much. Please subscribe if you liked this video. We hope that you guys, have a great journey, and you guys, start your financial peace journey and paying off debt. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Message me on Instagram. I leave my email down in my description box as well. Contact us. We'd love to help you. We hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.